Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be going over the latest EU5 news. So the two Dev Diaries we have to cover today are Tinto Talks 18th from 26th of June regarding laws, a very interesting feature that I'm very excited to get into, and then the Tinto Maps number 8 from the 28th of June regarding the region of Russia. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Welcome everyone to another Tinto Talks. This is the time of the week where we'll be focusing on gathering your helpful feedback on how to shape this secret game with the code name of Project Caesar together. Today we'll get back into politics and discuss how laws function in the game. Okay, so we've had various forms of laws in previous grand strategy games, everything from deciding how the upper house in Victoria 2 is composed to simpler decisions like the Education Act in EU3 and, in my opinion, a couple of decision clicks in EU4 as well, honestly. They give you a permanent bonus. In Project Caesar, what we define as a law is something that has 2 or more policies to choose from and where you can change that policy for a cost. Okay, so many laws have lots of unique policies that are available for certain tags, religions, culture, and other unique restrictions. Currently, most countries start with about 12 to 15 laws that they have policies on from the start, and there are about 40 more laws that appear over the ages. So here we have a first screenshot right here, 4 different administrative laws here, all for the ideal way to run our country. So I guess an administrative system law, feudal administration. Now, these are 4 different types of laws, right? But when we open them up, I'm guessing administrative system, there are different, sort of administrations to choose from. The feudal administration is the one that's active right now, right? We got de jure laws by tradition, legal code, civil law, royal court customs, aristocratic court. So these are 4 types of laws that we can go into and change how they function. So yeah, this is seeming simple enough. And I think this is definitely something that was maybe not, really missing from EU4, but I think it's something that would have been nice to have. I'm excited to see how it works in EU5. Enacting a policy for a new law is merely a cost in gold, but changing a policy is far more costly. At the base of 100 stability, it's rather costly, and while a high crown power reduces it, having low crown power, which would be very common in the early part of the game, would increase that cost further. So maybe let's say, you jump in as a country and they have, let's say, these exact laws enacted. But to play that country, let's say optimally or whatever, I'm just imagining myself here recording a guide for you guys, maybe as some country you would need to change like some law immediately, because that would be the best way to play it. But it's, as we can see, it's very, very costly and very difficult to change that law right at the start, right? Imagine doing something right at the start of EU4 in 1444 that makes you lose 3 stab. Would you do it? Even though it's better than not doing it? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see, but that's how I imagine it. So, how do you pass a law then without plunging your country into chaos? Call in the parliament and convince them to approve law changes. How that works in detail, we'll talk about when we talk about parliaments. Also, take into account is that while you immediately will lose the benefits of the previous policy, enacting a new policy takes time. Depending on your administrative efficiency, it can take several years until you reap the full benefits of a plus 1% tax efficiency, just like in real life. Yeah, this is something I actually agree with, man. Let's say, I don't know, there's a certain law on, how much, I'm just imagining here, how much land you can own. And let's simplify it to the max. Let's say everyone owns 2 acres of land, all the pops in your game, and then you change the law to everyone owning 1 acre. But, how much time will it take to implement all of that? Let's say we imagine we got guys over there going from everyone's property to everyone's property. Okay, now you own this goes to someone else, right? It takes time to implement these sort of things, which I do agree with. Even though I gave a pretty stupid example, I think it was pretty simple. Not only countries have laws, many international organizations have laws as well, where in some of them it's something that like the leader, the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire could enact on their own. In some, there are specific countries that can vote on the policy being approved or not, and many more options possible. We'll go into detail about those when we talk about specific international organizations. So yeah, this completely makes sense, man. Regarding the specific countries that vote, it could be like the electors or something like that. So yeah, it definitely makes sense that international organizations have their own laws as well. So what type of policies do we have in the laws? Well, there are not just modifier stacks like many things in previous games, but they enable and disable mechanics. They make estates happy or unhappy and have impact on your societal values. Yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. However, this is very interesting to me. So in what way would they enable or disable mechanics, right? Let's take a look at the examples. The levy law here is an interesting choice. 2% more of the peasants is a fair bit more than 20% of the nobles, but over time it has an impact on over what your military focus is on. So inclusive levies, so this makes us decentralized, but the levies, non-cultural levy size, I don't get what non-culture is exactly, but yeah, I guess we'll see. Noble levies, so monthly progress to quality, noble levy size, peasant levies, monthly progress to quantity, peasant levy size plus 2%. So yeah, all of these seem pretty simple enough, man. But I guess when you focus on quality, right, on your armies, it makes sense that they would be smaller. So that's why you got 20% of the nobles gathering, but there's so few nobles, right? And when you focus on quantity, you'll have the peasants, they won't be as strong and stuff like that. So yeah, this is pretty interesting, man, specifically regarding these on the levies and the armies and stuff like that. Very cool. Hold it right there. If you're enjoying this video and everything that we've covered so far and want to see more videos like this and support the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos or EU5 news. Thank you. Moving on to naval doctrines, here was a concept in EU4, and here it is a law with lots of different options depending on who you play as. So all of these are familiar to us, man. We got the naval maintenance discount, we got the galley combat ability, we got the merchant navy shipboarding, and the unique English wooden wall naval doctrine as well. All of these are familiar. The modifiers on the ship capturing are even the same. They nerfed galley combat a little bit, just 10%, not 15% anymore. And this is different as well. So merchant power for maritime and trade range instead of the plus trade efficiency or whatnot. So yeah, interesting that these are laws now instead of certain things you go into, right? It's something you just go into the army interface and pick in EU4, whereas over here it'll be a law. And yeah, I guess you won't be able to swap back and forth between these as easily as you could in EU4, right? In EU4, you just need some ducats based on the size of your navy. You can use galley power, then swap to this, then swap to that if you're super rich. But over here, I think it's going to be like a more fixed, and I guess it'll be probably harder to swap. Moving on to your legal code has many different options depending on who you play as, but as England, you definitely have the important choice. So we have civil law right here for admin efficiency, and it leads to centralization. We got common law that we could swap to, I guess, and these are the benefits or negative modifiers that we get. And then we got traditional law, which makes us decentralized, but estates are more satisfied. So yeah, based on who you want to play as and what you want to do, I think these are nice little things to go into. In the later part of the game, the press laws is something you have to decide upon. So censored press, monthly progress to communalism. Is that just communism? I don't know, but it increases literacy. Free press, we have less crown power. The guys are more educated since the press is free. The people will know about the bad stuff you've done as well. Let's say you lost some little minor skirmish, and it will be super embarrassing for you as the king for everyone to know what happened. If you have free press, they're going to learn. If you have censored press, maybe not so much. And then state press only, basically, in North Korea. It's as simple as that. If you go with free press, the burghers might start building these in different towns and cities, so there'll be local newspapers and stuff like that. Once again, it increases the max literacy, I guess, locally, in this location even more, along with this right here. So that's very nice. I guess we'll see. And then we have examples of religious laws right here about what religion your heirs can belong to. So they can be like any religion, same religion, I guess, as the ruler, or same religious group. Basically, if your ruler is Catholic, you could allow your heirs to flip to Protestant or something like that. So yeah, all very interesting ones that I didn't even expect to see here at all, man. Very cool late game ones as well, specifically these two. I mean, late game. Yeah, maybe more relevant for late game, but I'm actually liking this quite a lot. And now finally we get to some probably the most important type of law, the succession law, which, as we all know, is a really big deal in Crusader Kings. After all, it's a game about dynasties and the characters you play. But speaking of heirs, the succession law mechanic is not technically a law, but uses another mechanic, primarily because we want to always ensure that it's valid and enforcing a country to always have one. This special law is very much dependent on government type. We have lots of unique ones like the papal conclave, where when the pope dies, the cardinals gather to debate who will be the new pope. This can be quick, but sometimes it may take several years. We have different election methods for republics, and of course the old classic Salic and semi-Salic laws are some of the options for monarchies. So we are already familiar with what types of laws these are, man. Basically that, the heir or the next guy in line is the oldest, male child of the ruler, or, if he's not in line, it's relatives, right? So here we have this guy is the first in line. He's probably the kid, all of these various kids, I guess, or maybe some cousins or some brothers or something like that. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing the different succession laws, and will they be as relevant as they are in Crusader Kings. A difference on view of this will never cause any wars, I'm sure. Yeah, for all of you that like to modify games, all of these are 100% controlled from text files, so excellent for modding and stuff like that. And stay tuned, because next week we'll finally talk about ages and institutions, which is something we've hinted at for many weeks. So yeah, I'll get back to this right here pretty soon, but everything that's been, explained in today's Dev Diary right here, very clear. I'm interested in actually trying these out in practice. How difficult do you guys think it'll be to actually change these laws? Are there ways to make them, get up to date faster, implement things faster? And yeah, I'm mainly interested in a lot of these laws right here that relate to armies and navies and stuff like that, but also lots of stuff that we haven't seen. And yeah, laws that show up later. Can you like invent new laws from like policies or technology or research or ideas or anything like that? So yeah, that's super cool, along with this, along with the inheritance right here. But man, every time I see these, I'm not even gonna talk about them. But yeah, next week, man, ages and institutions, something I'm personally very excited in seeing. I think that's a huge aspect of EU4, even though, the mechanics side to it, let's say just when you open up that age interface right there, isn't really that huge. It's sort of, it sets a feel for the game, right? The age of discovery, man. You feel that you're in the age of discovery, right? That's exactly what's happening. Then, colonialism and the Reformation spawn, which is once again related to institutions right here. And then you sort of feel that you're in the age of Reformation. You can't wait for the age of absolutism to come around. New mechanics get unlocked. The age of revolutions, once again, new mechanics, even though we don't really play that far. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing ages in EU5. I think there'll be way more, obviously, since the timeline is longer. It's almost 500 years. I think it's it's like almost 500 years. And yeah, institutions too. I'm interested in seeing how institutions will spawn, if it works similarly to EU4. Hopefully, spread gets fixed and stuff like that. But I'm getting ahead of myself right here, because we have yet to see how it works, and we'll find out very soon. But yeah, that's, a little bit that we've learned about laws. I guess there wasn't too much to get into right here. What do you think of this mechanic right here? Definitely let me know in the comments below. I personally am not opposed to it at all. I think it'll be a very fun way to play and something to manage while you're at peace or whenever. So yeah, let me know what you think as we get into our second Dev Diary of the day right here, Tinto Maps number 8 for Russia. So, hello and welcome to one more week of Tinto Maps. This week we'll be taking a look at Russia. As an introductory note, we're just considering today the Russian core, which in 1337 comprised the different Russian principalities as far as the White Sea to the north and the Ural Mountains to the east. The lands that will later be incorporated into the Russian Empire will be covered in a future Tinto Maps. Otherwise, we would have to cover like 1/8 of the landmass in just one Dev Diary. So yeah, obviously, I don't think there's even a need to mention this. That everything, right there, it wouldn't be considered Russia. So here are the countries. Russia is divided into several principalities in 1337. All of these guys right here. The dominant one is probably Muscovy, as its Grand Prince Ivan I whatever is also Prince of Nizhny Novgorod, which is right here, and Kostroma, which is right there. And of Novgorod by election in this case, so the actual Novgorod. He also holds the title of Grand Prince of Vladimir, bestowed upon by the Khan of the Golden Horde, which is down here, which makes him the ruler enforcing the Tatar yoke over other Russian principalities, these other yellow guys right here, which in our game is represented to an international organization. The coloring of the different countries is in different tones of yellow as their tributaries of the yoke. The other main power in the region is the Grand Republic of Novgorod, which is this big guy right here, all familiar to us from EU4, with a completely different institutional structure that allows them to pick their rulers. Their power comes from being the main trading power between the Baltic Sea and the Russian region, as is the overlord of two border countries, the Principality of Pskov, which is right here, and the County of Oreshek, which is right there. A buffer country in Karelia, as agreed with Sweden after a recent war. Sweden is right there. Several lands to the north, right here, and east, right here, are not owned by any country. And as a final note, you may also see that Lithuania is the overlord of some of the principalities, some of them directly through Geminid rulers, while others over Rurikovich rulers. So basically all of these purple guys right here that are right next to Lithuania, they are their subjects. So yeah, let me take a look at this image and analyze it. So this would be the Golden Horde, man. Muscovy, it's like its main, subject, and all of these other yellow guys are subjects of Muscovy. They pay money to Muscovy. Muscovy pays the Golden Horde. These guys right here, I think, are supposed to be independent. These guys are Lithuanian guys. And you know, with the fact that all of these like vassals or subjects of any type in EU5 start off the same color as their overlord, what color do they get when you break free? That's what I'm excited in seeing. But yeah, man, specifically regarding this region, Muscovy and Novgorod still, I think, are going to be the most fun countries to play as. You know, breaking free, let's say, as Tver, how do you do it? If you want to fight Muscovy, do you also fight the Golden Horde? Is it going to be impossible? I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, going to be an interesting region to play in as well. I think it's going to be pretty similar to how gameplay goes in EU4, aside from the whole Tatar Yoke International Organization. So, going over into the subject interface right here. So, these guys are all subjects of the Golden Horde? Or no, we're clicked on Muscovy right here. And the same guy that rules Muscovy rules these three countries as well, and that's the overlord. Yeah, that's what this map mode is. And then we have the other Muscovy actually subject guys, Tver, Rostov, Yaroslavl, all familiar to us. These guys are new. Ryazan, these guys are new. This is Rostov once again, and yeah, these guys aren't subjects. So yeah, this is a starting diplomatic situation of Muscovy and the Tatar Yoke International Organization. Very cool. So here we have the dynasties, nothing too much to take a look at. Rurikoviches in most of these guys right here and stuff like that. We got the location map mode over here. Nothing too much to analyze. Province map mode. Terrain, you know, this is the climate, Arctic and continental. I think this is going to be arid down here if I'm not mistaken. Then we have the actual, you know, topography, hills and flatlands and marshes. Or, you know, the vegetation, forests, woods, grasslands. No farmlands though? Well, a little bit of farmland, but yeah, I guess that would be expected during this time frame. But yeah, sparse, yeah, very interesting, very interesting. And then we have the cultures right here. You know, the devs are also asking for any tips if you guys have them here, so leave them in the comments below as always. Cultures are mostly familiar to us, some new ones definitely though. Religion map mode, very interesting. So we have Orthodox right here, some animist guys. This over here is Catholic. This is supposed to be Romuva, I think. More animist over here. Shamanist right here. Tengri. And whatever the, you know, the Golden Horde is right here. Then we have the raw materials map mode. Also pretty familiar mostly to what we have in EU4. Lots of furs and stuff like that. And these are the markets. One centered in Kazan. One in Moscow. One in Novgorod. Pretty expected right here. Population, obviously not very high for this region. And yeah, these are just a bunch of different screenshots from the population. So yeah, that's been the map mode of Russia. Next week, we're jumping into Carpathia and the Balkans. Very interesting that they would decide to merge those two regions together. I think a separate one for them would work well. But yeah, very exciting regions to take a look at. Carpathia, very cool. And this one right here, one of the most important ones in Europe, I think, for EU5. It's going to be, you know, Germany, Italy, the Balkans. I think those are going to be the main places to look out for and that we're going to be playing in, you know, in EU5. But yeah, that's been the map mode of Russia right here, man. Not a lot to take a look at this week, obviously. You know, just these two dev diaries that we went through, the laws and the maps one. You know, you guys can always just scroll all the way up here, click on show only dev responses, and you know, you can scroll down to the comments and see what the devs are responding to, you know, regarding fan questions. For example, can you tell me more of succession laws? And Johan says, not yet, but we have many unique and different ones, which is very nice. Another question here, will there be an EU4 style mission system or a HOI4 style focus system in the game? Neither, more similar to Imperator. That was already familiar to us, you know. There'll be naval laws regarding to cultures. Yes, many unique per tag and or culture. Very cool. You know, this is different types of laws regarding religions, regarding cultures, regarding locations and everything like that. And yeah, lots more different comments that you guys can go through right here. Almost 5 pages of dev responses that you can check out for yourselves. You know, not to drag these types of videos out for too long. But yeah, I think that's gonna be about it for today, man, for the dev diaries regarding laws and this region of Russia. Next week, you know, ages and institutions and the Balkans and Carpathia, we're definitely going to be covering that. So yeah, if you want to stay up to date with EU5 news, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we're going to be covering almost all of you know, the information we're going to get regarding EU5 pretty soon. Hopefully an announcement or something like that, huh? that's what's up. But yeah, anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think about everything we've covered today, and if you want to see more videos like this. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to leave a like. It really helps out a lot. And if you like the content and want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of them. And you can become a member today and join the Discord. The link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with another EU5 news video.